Welcome to the new book releases for the week of January 21st. This is going to be some people's most anticipated biggest week of the whole month, year. Let's just go with month. Without further ado, I'm Morgan. There will be the timestamp so you can skip around to whichever genre is your favorite. And let's go ahead and get started. First up this week, we'll get the romantasy out of the way with A Crown of Silver by Lyra Celine. This is book 2 in the Fair Folk series that started with A Feather So Black. And it's set in a world of perilous magic and moonlit forest. The seductive romantic fantasy tells the story of a defiant changeling, her cursed sister, and the dangerous Fae Lord she must defeat to save her family. So the changeling princess was left in the human realm, and then she is tasked with going to save the real princess, who's like her sister, and a childhood friend goes with her into the land of the Fae. And things happen, and no, I still have not read the first book. It's a thing that has to be done very soon. Very soon. Okay, but the sequel is coming out. I think it's going to be a trilogy, if I remember right. And our next one up is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This takes place nearly 18 months after starting at Basgiath War College, and Violet Sorrengail knows there's no more time for lessons, no more time for uncertainty. This one, people are waiting for this one, like by their doors, by their Kindles, for being able to start this book. I still haven't read Iron Flame either. I'm not going to be on the huge hype train because I haven't read the sequel, which I know was mixed reviewed. No, it got mixed announcements, expectations. There's a word that I should be saying that I'm not saying correctly. Moving into romance next, we start with I'm going to put it more in regular romance than romantasy, because while it's a paranormal romance, it sounds more urban. So I'm going to say that it's just regular romantic comedy stuff. This is the first in the Hellbent series, which was indie published before, and now it's getting the trad published. My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher. Asmodeus, Prince of Hell, just wants to make music, jazz specifically. Unfortunately, he's a demon, and he's supposed to be evil. Clearly for Ash, a career as a musician isn't exactly an option. Plus, he's cursed. Sick of playing by the rules, Ash and his 3 brothers escape hell in search of freedom on Earth, but it's harder than they thought to keep their enemies off their tail. Enter Evangeline Gregory, just your average human. She works at a jazz bar, plays gigs on weekends, and apparently hallucinates demons. And the romance, I think it's gonna, It sounds amusing, but it is supposed to be humorous, so hopefully, that works. Then we have She Doesn't Have a Clue by Jenny Elder Moak. A high-end wedding on a private island off the coast of Seattle sounds like something out of a magazine, but for best-selling mystery author Kate Valentine, it's more like a nightmare. When the bride is poisoned and Kate stumbles across a dead body, she finds herself in a real-life mystery that eerily echoes the plot of her latest novel. And the only person who seems willing to help Kate catch the killer is Jake Hawkins, aka the Hostralian, aka Kate's biggest romantic regret. I don't know what to make of Hostralian. This is also supposed to be her ex's wedding, but he's also her editor. So that's, obligation to go, and she's going to give him, the finished manuscript as a gift. It's a horrible wedding present, I feel like. But, we move to thrillers with Mask of the Deer Woman by Lori L. Dove. This one, I'm not sure if it is going to turn into a series or is this going to remain a standalone. At rock bottom following her daughter's death, ex-Chicago detective Carrie Starr has nowhere to go but back to her roots. Starr's father never talked much about the reservation where he was raised, but the tribe needs a new marshal as much as Starr needs a new place to call home. In the past decade, too many young women have disappeared from the res. Some have ended up dead, others just gone. Now, local college student Chayona Cloud is missing, and Starr falls into an investigation that leaves her drowning in her memories of her daughter, the girl she failed to save. Next up, I cannot pronounce the names. The Inheritance by Tricia Saklicha. Meet the Argowals, who have gathered on a private luxury island off the west coast of Scotland for a much-anticipated family reunion. Raj, the patriarch and a business tycoon, is about to announce to his wife and 3 children the succession plan for his multi-million-dollar Delhi-based company. Shalani, the fragile matriarch, is ready to have her husband to herself after years of sacrifice put to the family business. Myra, the golden child, owner of the island and host of the reunion, is, unbeknownst to her family, on the brink of bankruptcy. Asim, the son and supposed heir, is torn between his love for his wife and his duty to his family. Aisha, the youngest, a party girl whose antics are legendary, can't pass up an opportunity to wreak havoc. And then there's Zoe, Asim's wife, the outsider whose insta-perfect life is built on a foundation of lies. I have no idea what's going on there, but okay. And it's supposed to also be like a locked room, except an island. It's bigger than a locked room. We move into fiction next with Something Rotten by Andrew Lipstein. Cecile is a fed-up New York Times reporter. Her husband, Ruben, is a disgraced former NPR host and grudging stay-at-home dad. Neither can wait to flee New York and spend the summer in Copenhagen, Denmark, Cecile's hometown. But their vacation begins to turn inside out as soon as they land. Cecile's first love, Jonas, has been diagnosed with a rare fatal illness. All of Cecile's friends are desperate to get him help, that is, except for Mikhail, a high-powered journalist who happens to be the only one Jonas will listen to. And unfortunately, her husband, Ruben, also starts falling under Mikhail's spell of things. Next up, we have a translated work by Yu Yongguang and translated by Slin Jong. I probably butchered those Korean names. No, not Korean. Are they Korean? No. The next one's Korean. I'm confused and I don't remember. If you could swap your life for a better one, which would you choose? On the outskirts of Rainbow Town, there is an old abandoned house. They say that if you send a letter detailing your misfortunes there, you could receive a ticket. If you bring this ticket to the house on the first day of the rainy season, you'll be granted entrance into the mysterious Rainbow Rainfall Market, where you could choose to completely change your life. No one is more surprised than Siren when she receives a ticket. Lonely and with no real prospects for a future, Siren ventures to the market determined to create a better life for herself. When she arrives there, she meets a cat. A cat's going to be her guide, her animal companion guide, as they try to navigate through and pick the choices. And apparently she sounds very indecisive, though, about the choices. Our final one for the week is a Korean translated work that is We Do Not Part by Han Kang. One winter morning, Kyung receives an urgent message from her friend In-sun to visit her at a hospital in Seoul. In-sun has injured herself in an accident and she begs Kwang-sung-ga to return to Jeju Island where she lives to save her beloved pet, a white bird called Amma. A snowstorm hits the island when Kwanya arrives. She must reach In-sun's house at all costs, but the icy wind and squalls slow her down as night begins to fall. She wonders if she will arrive in time to save the animal, or even survive the terrible cold that envelops her with every step. Lost in a world of snow, she doesn't yet suspect there's something. Plunge into the darkness that awaits her at her friend's house. And this is supposed to be tied to something that happened, where the author is bringing light to some sort of big tragedy that's not really brought up much within Korean history or history in general. That's what this is supposed to be tied to, just in more of a fictional literary style. Those are all the ones on my list. If you know of any other ones coming out this week, though, that you want to let people know about, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Maybe you heard about a new one on this list, or, that one that you were looking for. It's coming out. I hope you're finding something great to read today. You'll subscribe so you can come back for more future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.